Hey everyone, my name is Daniel A. I'm a hydrologist with the Forest Service, and today I'd like to talk about debris flows, fire, and what that means to riparian systems, or could potentially mean to riparian systems. As you can see, we're in the Pack Creek channel. Here's a downstream view and an upstream, and you can see that there's been quite a bit of vertical and lateral incision. Right now we have about 1 CFS cubic feet per second flow here in the system, and up here it used to be riparian vegetation until the fire came through, and the system used to be quite a bit higher up, like right in this area, and so that's how much this is down cut over the past year, and dozens of debris flows have happened already. So what happens when debris flows cut down? Well, as you can see here, we have a very steep bank, and like I was saying up there, there used to be riparian vegetation. I mean, there still is, there's willows and everything, but the concern is that we might see a shift in seral stages from these late seral riparian species to more early grasses and sagebrush. Anyway, so we have our organic soil horizon right here, which is comprised of leaves, branches, everything else that's not decomposed. And then you get into your B layer, and then you can see here's a little layer of clay. And then over time, as this down cuts, let's say the water table can be right here, and it'll hit this impermeable layer, and every once in a while you can see iron oxidation, which tells you that this used to be a wet system up higher, and that's where the impermeable layer was, and it dried out, creating iron oxidation over there, what you saw. From here down, this is mostly sandy loam or loamy sand, and then you can see that there's a couple bands right here with clay. They're still acting as an impermeable layer and leaking out some moisture. And then you get a little bit further down, and here's a good example. This is shale, or essentially almost pure clay, and that is very impermeable, and as you can see, it's just extremely saturated from water coming out in this area. And I will show you an example of these textures. So this is our loamy sand, which is what we found up in this middle section. I didn't take anything up higher, that's just organic soils. And down lower, right around here, you'll find this next one. See, this one forms a ball, but if you were to do a standard soil texture, it just breaks apart. So yes, there is more clay component to it, but it's not quite impermeable. But as you can see in here, there's a lot of iron oxidation. So the wetland slowly transitioned down through the profile, and it keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. Our next sample here, this is clay, forms a really nice ball, and then has these big massive ribbons, and you can see this is where that clay starts. And the problem with this is when you get down to this level and the water just keeps seeping out, eventually what's going to happen is that the water is going to become further and further away from these riparian species on top. And that's obviously a problem, because we're going to convert the system back to a early to mid seral state with those grasses and sagebrush.